In the past 2 centuries, ever since the Industrial Revolution, technology has advanced at an alarming rate. In the result of that, more and more people had a desire to move to cities, which were the most technologically advanced regions in countries. Because of the huge increase in population growth, people were running out of space where to live, and workers were running out of space where to work. So instead of committing Kowloon walled city, someone in Chicago in the middle of 18th century had the idea of making a building with a steel frame. The steel frame was very revolutionary as it wouldn't accidentally turn an entire city into a hell on earth. But it also possessed another huge improvement over wood, and it was its strength and durability.
Because steel is heavier than feathers.
The strength of steel frame allowed architects to design buildings taller than ever. Skyscrapers had become the symbol of economically developed cities, or the symbol of stupid oil-rich countries which only attract more Dogecoin investor Instagram influencers.
نحن بحاجة إلى تجديد مفهوم المدن.
But let's get back to the beginning of 20th century, when in 1919, one small town in Texas, USA, known as Wichita Falls, after finding oil reserves which are worth a Magdakask fortune, had decided that its time has come to shine. So they built a skyscraper which would symbolize their economic prosperity. But instead, they received something that looks like it was designed in Minecraft before Minecraft was invented. So instead they had to design it into. But how this actually became the world's shortest skyscraper is a longer story. The story begins with Augustus Newby, a director of the Wichita Falls and Oklahoma City Railway Company. In 1906, he decided to build a brick building where he could base an office of his railway company. Another company which was based in the new Newby building was an oil rig construction firm owned by J.D. McMahon. 13 years after the construction of Newby building, McMahon proposed that he's gonna build a skyscraper right next to the Newby building. As the city was running out of space where to host business offices, McMahon quickly gained money from investors, a whole $200,000, which is equal to 3.1 million modern-day dollars. But McMahon had a trick up his sleeve, because in the building's blueprints, where it said that the height of the building is 480, it didn't say in what units was that. And unfortunately, it turned out that the investors would have to take 480 inches of problems up there. Obviously, their first reaction was to sue McMahon, but surprisingly, they lost the trial, as McMahon had never verbally stated the true height of the building. However, they did recover a small portion of their investment from the elevator company, which refused to honor the contract after learning how small the building actually was. After the not-so-grand opening, it served mostly as an embarrassment to the town's 40,000 residents, though it did host 2 company offices. Remember how I mentioned that the elevator company decided to ditch on the project? It turns out that the building neither had any stairs, so rather embarrassingly they had to hoist up a ladder so that the upper floors could be accessed. After a whole year, the building actually got featured on Ripley's Believe It or Not, where it got its name as the world's littlest skyscraper. When the Big Sad reached Texas in 1929, then the Newby-McMahon building got vacated and boarded up. After 2 years, a sudden fire engulfed the building, making it useless for even longer. After some years, the Big Sad was over and the building was finally revived, with it hosting barber shops and cafes. But that still didn't stand in the way of Wichita County's administration of putting it up for demolition. But they had to do it multiple times, as it turned out that residents came to building's defense, as it's been the icon of the city for many years. The building continued to deteriorate, so it was entrusted to Wichita County's Heritage Society with hopes that it would be restored in a tip-top condition. Eventually, it was deemed as a burden to Wichita County's Heritage Society, and the question of demolishing resurfaced. But it was saved once again, this time by local architectural and electric companies, and the building eventually regained its good old looks in 2005. Throughout the years, the Newby-McMahon building has survived tornadoes as it was located in the so-called Tornado Alley of fire and decades of neglect. The building had never met the right conditions to be classified as a skyscraper, but if you ask any local of Wichita Falls, they will always say that is the world's littlest skyscraper. With this story, as with any other, comes a lesson. When back in school you said that the right answer for Jimmy's 50 watermelon and 20 kiwi cake problem was 35, and teacher asked you, "What? Apples? Tomatoes?" Then don't immediately proceed to take out my first AK-47 kit from your bag, but remember that later in life it can be a $3.1 million question. Hello. I want to use this moment to thank you all for the support for my channel and the content I make, since I cannot do that in community tab as that requires at least 1,000 subscribers. It truly means a lot to me, since I didn't expect to get any response from my first video, since that was something I just did for fun, and also taking the fact that this is a new channel in the context of videos. I wish I could upload more videos as soon as possible, but sadly it takes around 4 days to make one video, as I try to put as much effort as possible in every single one of them. Be sure to write down in the comments what kind of content would you want to see on this channel, as I already have a plan for a new video with the same formula, but it's only gonna be gaming themed. But anyways, be sure to leave any kinds of recommendations, as I want to improve my videos so they are more enjoyable for you and so I get more fun out of making them. I hope that you enjoy this video and I wish you a wonderful day. Take care.